In this section, I'm going to show proper load cell handling procedure from start to finish. So at the beginning of a test day, what we're going to do first is turn on the controller. Button at the back left side near the power cable. After giving the controller a few seconds to turn on, we're going to open Mach1 Motion software. After it's initialized, we're going to select the proper load cell that we want in the list of load cells. Now, the load cell name should correspond to the name on the box. Now that we have the load cell active so that we can see how much force is applied to it while we're handling it, we're going to take it out of its box. In the box, there should be a plastic film wrap. What we're going to do is undo the sides in cardboard, then take out the load cell. The load cell should only be handled by the center or by the part with notches. This part, if we look closely, is actually welded to the body of the load cell. So touching either this side or the body will not affect the load, but ensuring that we never touch the side where load is applied at the same time as any of the other parts of the load cell. Next, when we install this load cell onto the system, we're always going to install it from the side that's welded to the load cell body. What this means is the side with the notches will go against the machinery. What I'm doing here is taking the 1/4-28 thread thumb screw and installing the load cell until it doesn't move anymore. I'm just going to do a little check by touching only the body or the notched section to make sure that it's solid. Finally, to make sure that we have the proper load cell activated, I will lightly touch on the load cell, and we should see on the screen a load being measured every time I touch. Final check would be to perform a calibration by selecting the proper weight. So in this case, I only have one weight of around 500 grams. Clicking the calibrate button, the instructions are install the calibration weight and click OK. What I'll do, install the calibration weight holder, always using very light touch to do this. Placing the weight into the holder center, clicking OK on install the calibration weight, removing only the weight, and then clicking OK on remove the weight. The calibration factor we're looking for is around 1. If the number is much outside of 1, for example, over 5% over or under, 0.95 to 1.05, you can try the calibration again. It's possible that the weight was moving during the calibration, or if it's a consistent issue, you can contact. Whenever I'm installing accessories onto the load cell or uninstalling them, I try to put minimum torsion onto the load cell. So in this case, for this indenter, I will use one hand to hold the indenter up. I will use only 2 fingers to insert the thread into the load cell. The reason I only use 2 fingers is because I want to minimize the amount of torsion that's applied to this load cell. This one in particular is a single axis load cell, and it's only meant to be loaded in the vertical direction. So any loads from the side, front, or torsional have a risk of breaking this load cell. If there are multiple people in your lab or facility that are using this machinery, I would recommend uninstalling the load cell at the end of the day and keeping a log of who uses it and what calibration factor is measured that day. I will put the load cell back into its protective casing, folding the sides down, and then folding the front and back upwards so the load cell perfectly mobilized and not in danger of being damaged.